ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time for an updated tier list. Okay, and we're going to do things a little bit different here. I have my old tier list right here, and I have all the data available right in front of me. So there was some changes. You know, the season came out not too long ago, but I think it's been like, what, 3-4 weeks at this point. We've seen some AWC. I think I have a much better understanding, especially with some of the changes that came in. There's some new power rankings. And yeah, I think it's time for an updated tier list. I also want to not only go over this tier list, I want to go over, and maybe we should do this first. All right, so this is the tier list. This is the current, this is not updated, okay? This is the last one that I made, okay? So you can see where everything is. I also wanted to take a look at what happened last weekend and the weekend before for the AWC. So I'm pretty sure Mystical, the friendly Mistweaver monk, made a post and showed all of the Cup number 4 breakdowns. So this is something that I thought was really, really interesting. So before we get into the tier list, and you know, I change up some of the rankings here, I want to just look at the data from AWC, okay? Because I think that's always fun to look at. What classes were played? If you guys watched it, you probably know a lot of what you saw. If you didn't watch it, this may be a surprise for you. So this is Mystical the Monk. Comes in with this information, and we can see. So for melee DPS, open this image in a new tab. Okay. So for melee DPS, you can see these were the melee that were played. And I think this is only on broadcast. Okay. So when you're at the top 8, this is what we were seeing. We saw Outlaw Rogue played 43 times. Okay. We saw Demon Hunter played 16 times. And then a little bit down from there, we had Unholy Death Knight. I believe that's Frost Death Knight. Fury Warrior making its debut. And Rep Paladin. Okay, so this is North America. I wonder if he has Europe as well, does he? Did he do Europe also? Let me see. Mystical the Monk. I don't know if he posted Europe. I don't think that he did. So this is just North America, okay? So it's only one of the sample sizes. I will say in Europe, there was more Demon Hunters. Demon Hunters were more successful. So in North America, definitely opting a lot more for that. Outlaw Rogue. In Europe, there was a lot more Demon Hunter. So those of you that are saying, oh yeah, Demon Hunter, blah, is not that good. Well, in Europe, if it was both samples, it would be a lot closer. But everything else looks kind of normal. In Europe, they played a little bit of Windwalker Monk and a small amount of Subtlety Rogue. Feral Druid was represented. But other than that, very similar. Okay. So, yeah, Outlaw Rogue, Demon Hunters, and then everything else is... Okay. But this, I think, is pretty consistent in both regions for range DPS. Boomkins are just the absolute gods. And it's not like they can't lose, but pretty much every team is utilizing a Boomkin in most matchups. It is incredibly strong right now for obviously a bunch of different reasons. It's tanky, does insane damage, has some of the highest burst with its incarnation. It has the best crowd control in the game. And yeah. Saw some Arcane Mage like Raikou and Cubsy playing it a little bit. Shadow Priest played a little bit. Marks Hunter, like I said, if this had Europe included, there would be more Marks Hunters, okay? Because Marks Hunters were actually played a decent amount. But we basically saw no Affliction Warlocks, a couple Beast Mastery Hunters, no Og, no Destro. We did see a little Ellie Shaman, no Fire Mage, no Demo Warlock, maybe a little Demo, like a small amount of Demo and a small amount of Frost Mage as counter picks, but like 90% plus wins for with a Balanced Druid. Balanced Druid's obviously incredibly good, and the best melee is, it's not even close. Outlaw and Demon Hunter are the best melee. For sure. At least in the tournaments, at the highest level. So this is like tournament play, because I already know people are going to be like, Outlaw Rogue suck at low ratings. Okay, what? Maybe they do. But yeah, for tournament healers, we have Holy Priest and Resto Shaman being played a ton. Resto Shaman was even more so in Europe, I feel like. Like I said, if we had the European data also, I feel like Resto Shaman would be maybe even higher than Holy Priest. But those two healers are kind of clearly the best. And the reason why might surprise you. or it may not surprise you. One of the reasons I think Holy Priest and Resto Shaman are so good right now is because they're the best into balance druids. Because Priest can play Gnome, and I have no doubt that if Holy Priest couldn't play Gnome, they would fall off a cliff in terms of representation. So the fact that Holy Priest can be a Gnome, and they can get out of Root Beam, and the fact that Resto Shamans can also get out of Root Beam is a huge part of why they're so good. Evokers, I think, would actually be on par with the other two if they could somehow get out of Root Beam. And I think Resto Druids aren't bad, but I think they don't synergize the best with Moonkins. So because Moonkins are the best, Resto Druids can't be the best. Preservation Evokers, I think, would be as good as Shaman and Holy Priest, but because they can't get out of Root Beam, they're not. And then Disc, Mistweaver, and Holy Paladin are just worse. That's just what it is. We saw a little bit of Disc Priest, but still basically no Mistweaver Monk and
saw this
no
30-second short and
Holy Paladin.
Tier list. Enjoy. Link.
Saw a 30-second. All right, let's check this out. We can check this out and add it. All right, one moment. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with the tournaments. I think what I said about the healers is fair. So we'll take a look at the tier list. I'm actually gonna, okay, so let's just do healers first. So I feel like I should probably update Resto Shaman. Like, I think Resto Shaman, is that too many in S tier though? It might be, of whatever. I guess they're all S tier. Do you guys think that there's one healer that's better than the rest? I don't even know. That's too many in S. You can't have everyone in S tier. What one healer is the best? That's what I want to know. And I'm not sure about that. You think Holy Priest is the best healer in the game? You know what? Maybe Holy Priest is the most well-rounded and honestly best. Shaman? There's a lot of good healers. It's weird. The healer representation is good. I think Disc for sure is going to move up a bunch. Or move up. Not a bunch. But I think I'm going to move Disc up to C tier. And I think I might move Holy Paladin down. I think Holy Paladin now takes the worst healer in the game. And I also think Mistweaver Monk is getting demoted as well. I think Mistweaver Monk is worse than Disc. And you could say, yeah, Punch Monks. Okay, Punch Monks. Yeah, Punch Monks or whatever. But I'm going to put them down. I think they are worse. I think this is kind of where I have the healers at. You have Resto Shaman, Pres Evokers, and Holy Priest at the top still. Resto Shaman in A tier. And you could make an argument maybe that Resto Druids are in B tier, but I think Resto Druids aren't that bad. And in some of the other comps, they're pretty good. So yeah, I think in terms of healer balance, I'm okay with this. Paladins are the worst. We're going to have Disc Priest move up, Mistweaver Monks go down, and then I'm going to leave Shaman, and I'm going to leave Pres Evoker and Holy Priest. Okay? In terms of DPS, I think there's absolutely no doubt that Havoc Demon Hunter needs to move up. And there is a part of me... Okay, so yeah, Havoc Demon Hunter is going to move up for sure. And also Marks Hunter is going to move up for sure. Marks Hunter is literally jumping 2 ranks. It's going to go up to B and then to A. Okay? And I'm actually going to lower the tier list of Affliction Warlock also. Even though Affliction Warlock got some buffs, I'm lowering it. It's going down. I'm going to make some big changes here. I think Affliction Warlocks are still, to me, proving that Dispel is yeah. Dispel is too good into Affliction Warlocks, and even though they can be overwhelming in certain like solo shuffle games, I think in actual games they're just not that great overall. Okay? Yeah, but okay, so Greg says it wasn't buffs. What I said was there's some buffs to their single target damage, which is true, and Agony got nerfed. And there's other really good Warlocks that disagree with you, so... All right, anyways, I literally lowered Affliction Warlock on the tier list, so hopefully you're happy about that. Now, Fury Warrior was in D tier, bottom of the barrel, absolute scumbaggery garbage. Now, it's going to be improved, okay? We're not only going to go to C, we're not only going to go to B, but Fury Warrior is literally going to go up here and pass a bunch of these other specs. I actually think Fury Warrior is literally one of the best melee in the game right now. Okay? So Fury Warrior went from the worst spec in the game to one of the best melee specs in the game. Fury Warrior is absolutely not B. Fury Warrior is good. What happened with Fury? It got a ton of buffs. Unironically, I think Fury Warrior is better than Windwalker Monk in 3v3. I actually think that. So yeah, Fury Warrior stonks went way the frick up. It's really strong right now. Is there any clear outliers as well that need to change here? Frost Mage, yeah, it could stay at A. Ret Paladin can stay at A. Fury Warrior, Sassa Rogue, Windwalker Monk, sure. Survival Hunter, sure. Ellie, sure. Warrior, sure. Destro. I'm thinking about lowering Destro to B tier, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to lower Destro to B tier. I still think it's pretty strong in Shuffle, but yeah. In threes, it just gets completely destroyed and hard countered by all the spell mechanics in the game. Is Feral really S tier? I'm actually going to lower Feral as well. Feral's going down to A tier. I don't feel good about Feral being an S tier anymore. And I kind of want to change. I do feel like Arcane is not as good as the other 3 specs. I don't know how you guys feel about that, and maybe I could be convinced otherwise, but I actually don't think Arcane is as good as Moonkin. It's good, but it's definitely... Is it as good as Outlaw and Demon Hunter and Moonkin? I don't know. Maybe I put Arcane down. I'm going to put Arcane down to A tier. Arcane's going down. It's still good. Still very good. And in the right composition, it can be strong, but I really don't feel confident putting it at S tier anymore. I also think that Unholy Decay power rankings have gone up as well. They got some significant damage increases, and I think overall they are better. So we're going to put them up. We actually saw them being played in the tournament in a little bit. I still think they have some survivability issues, but yeah, they're definitely strong. There's a lot of A right now. Do you guys think... Okay, so I'm going to need a little help on this one. Do you guys think any of the A tier should be pruned down? Are any of the specs right now in A actually B? Because I think there's too many in A, but I don't know. Are we really moving Feral down 2 rankings? You think Frost and Asa should switch spots? What, in terms of like their overall strength? I wonder, yeah. Yo, Kazak, wow, thanks for the 9 months. Yeah, we could do that. Dev, do we guys think Dev Evoker is A, or should I lower it to B? I like the bottom of this a little bit. I actually think Dev Evoker is good. Is there anything that should be lowered to D tier? Also, that's another one. Survival Hunter should be lowered to B. I don't think there's any D tier specs in the game right now. I am wondering about Survival Hunter. So Survival is an interesting one. I feel like it's not being played that much. What are we thinking? Sub should be C. Subtlety Rogue? Wait, where is Subtlety Rogue? I have it at B. I think it's fine with B. Also, yeah, I'm going to lower Survival too. We're going to put... I think Marks is the new best Hunter spec, so we're going to lower Survival. It basically had no representation in the tournament at all. However, some of the Hunters did play Beastmaster, and some of the Hunters did play Marks. Survival, I'm going to lower it as well. So, yeah. I think this is pretty good at this point. You'd like to see MM Hunter up in S tier? Yeah, it's good, but I don't know. As a mage player, I feel like I might be showing some bias if I put Marks in S tier. It definitely feels S tier when I get destroyed by it every game, but yeah. You think Enhancement Shaman should be lower? It could be, yeah. Maybe not. I think Enhancement Shaman's fine where it is. I think it's B. Only C tier specs. I still think Frost DK is just too gimmicky, too memey. It's one of the reasons why it's going to stay C. I think Enhance is fine where it's at. I think this is fairly accurate, guys. I'm not going to lie. You could maybe make a case that Subtlety Rogue should be C tier. Pretty garbanzo overall, but yeah, I don't think sub is as bad as Frost DK. Like, Subtlety Rogue is very gimmicky. Subtlety Rogue, yeah, it's... Have you tried any Warrior Mage? I wonder how good it is. Warrior Mage is really good. I'm telling you, you guys are sleeping on Fury Warriors. Fury Warrior Arcane Mage is legitimately a very good composition. You guys need to understand. SPEC says not yet, but every comp he's fought against felt very powerful. Oh, we got a pop. So yeah. All right, guys, I'm feeling good about this tier list. This is the updated tier list with the tournament in mind, actually getting to play through some of the changes for a while. I think Fury Warrior is a big surprise. Discipline Priest obviously got a little bit of love, but I think overall this is a pretty accurate tier list, all things considered. Yeah, I think it'll probably stay very similar to this until we get more changes. If we get more changes, maybe we won't. Maybe there's no more changes until the next expansion. Who frickin' knows? I don't know. But yeah. Boomkins are good. Boomkins are pretty frickin' good, guys. Pretty frickin' good.